I'm a fighter, always have been. In the ring and in business. 30 years of battles, rising, falling, rebuilding. I've made money, I've lost money, but it wasn't until I created Zapata Systems was I able to really climb my way out. But the toughest fight, it wasn't physical. It was watching money walk out the door week after week, whether to vendors charging too much or labor not justifying the revenue. That money stress, it doesn't always stay at work. It follows you home, turns into arguments, cold dinners, and broken peace. And then there's the IRS, back taxes, deadlines, pressure you can't punch your way out of. Zapata System shows you what you're really paying. It gives you control, leverage, and savings. This isn't about surviving. It's about winning. You're in a fight. Start acting like it. Zapata Systems. Fight smarter.
Welcome, guys. I am Joe Zapata, the Movie Talk. We got a great week for you. We're going to talk a little bit about Leonardo DiCaprio. We're going to talk about James Carrey as George Jetson. But first, let's introduce the team. Dave, DC Clary from DC Unbox. What's going on, Dave?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on? And then we got Rob from the Writers Room, Rob Alvarega. How you doing, Rob?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Episode 3. It's about to drop. I'm super excited.
All right, man. Sounds great.
Revenge of the Sith, that came out 20 years ago. What are you talking about?
Nice.
Yeah. I saw a couple of new things. I saw someone posted a new Ghostbuster pack, Dave. I saw that. Someone online from that Ghostbuster news channel. Is there a new pack that dropped? I saw something.
The 1984 pack will hit in March.
Okay. Yeah, I saw something.
First, I was like, did someone steal my pictures? Because I took some of the same exact photos and posted them on some of the Facebook boards.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny.
And he's apparently, ever since that guy Jason, who seems really cool, he's got tons of stuff, but because he's now positioned himself as Ghostbusters News, it's like any little thing has got to go up there. It's like, oh, you never believe what Brad Pitt said about Ghostbusters when he saw it in 1987. It's like, click the link in our bio for the story. It's like, settle down, man.
Wow.
All right, guys. Well, let's get started here. So let's talk about the movie in the box office. Let's first talk about the movie Tron. You know, I remember when I came in the 80s, the early movie Tron came out. You know, it was a sort of a futuristic movie. Then 15 years ago, Tron Legacy came up, and it wasn't a big, didn't do well at the box office. Made a little bit of money. I think it made 177 million domestic and gross, and worldwide, I think 400 million. But 15 years later, we get Tron Ares, and right now the studio is reporting that it is going to be the worst money loss of any studio at $140 million. Now, I don't know who greens like this stuff. Were we really looking? Was anyone asking for a Tron movie? I mean, I don't really remember. 15 years later, Dave, I'm going to start with you. Did you like Tron at all in the whole series at all?
I actually did a little brushing up on this just through some other channels that I pay attention to, and they did like a recap of the original Tron. And they're like, it's not a good movie. The idea is solid, and the tech they use to make it look how it does is pretty good. And apparently, Tron Legacy was almost just that movie again, but much, much better. I heard it was actually pretty good. But I don't know if, listen, there's lots of speculation that Jared Leto is one of the reasons that it's not doing so well. I mean, I kind of don't like him regardless of all the stuff that you allegedly hear about him. Yep. So I don't know if he's, like, if you had somebody else, yeah, maybe would it be a little bit better. But if the story isn't that great and the concept doesn't really play out, I don't know. I didn't think like Tron Legacy or Tron in general was popular enough to warrant, like, this look. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, this looks pretty good, but it also very expensive.
Yep.
And apparently also, from what I understand, the soundtrack with Trent Reznor and Atticus doesn't really they build it as Nine Inch Nails, but it just sounds like anything else Trent Reznor's done. I think it's I think they started to use that to kind of bolster, hype for the movie.
Mm-hmm. I saw someone who watched it and they said it wasn't actually bad. But like I said, I don't think there's enough entrance in Tron at all. Rob, what do you think about this Tron Ares?
So honestly, I'm not surprised that this was going to be the result. When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, cool, I like the concept, that kind of like finally merging the two worlds from this, this storyline together. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. But the two big detractors for me, one, I am going to agree, Jared Leto is just an uninspired casting, to be quite honest. I mean, I have yet to see this thing, and to be honest, in this economy, I got to pick and choose my battles when it comes to watching movies, and I knew that I probably was not going to go see it in theaters. I'm probably going to wait to see it in streaming or rent it when it comes out on digital, because I am a bit of a Tron fan. The first one is, that's right up with my pop culture growing up. It's one of those movies that really turned into a cult classic, to be quite honest. And the whole story within that was introduced in that movie was carried over in legacy. The second detractor is that Tron Legacy, for anyone who actually did watch it, that movie, I think people appreciated more as the years went on. And I think there was at one point a genuine interest in seeing, okay, where's this going to go from that movie? Not 15 years later. I mean, it's late. This movie is super late. And that's my biggest thing. And I think that's what's really happening here. I think if this thing was released, within 2-3 years of Legacy, it would have done way better. And I would hope that at that point they were gonna would cast somebody else, or hopefully maybe the story was a little more tied into what was tried to introduced in Legacy. So I'm really not surprised. It sucks because I do think that the whole lore that's in Tron is worth having movies about, but it just seems like they're like half pregnant with this. Either they're gonna do it, and then it's gonna be once every almost 2 decades that you're gonna come out with a Tron movie, and you can't beat the soundtrack from Punk, Daft Punk from Legacy. That was a big thing in that movie. That music was just as much character as anything else in that movie. Now to replace with something that's kind of like, not helping the cause.
Yeah. Well, I'll check it out in streaming, but like I said, it was a big bomb. I don't think anyone was really waiting for this, especially like you said, 15 years later. It's kind of like,
and I missed their window.
Yeah, it missed their window for sure. All right, guys. Well, with Halloween coming upon us soon, and we'll have our Halloween episode next week, we're going to do that. I thought we'd put in some news for Halloween, and Leonardo DiCaprio is actually going to produce a Bela Lugosi film biography. Now, I always loved the old Draculas and all that stuff. I remember Lou Costello and Abbott and Costello watching them as a kid versus Dracula and stuff, and Frankenstein, and seeing these guys. I always thought it was pretty cool. I used to have the Universal monsters as a kid. I think I had a bunch of them when I was a kid. The last time Bela Lugosi was a film, I think Martin Landau played him in Ed Wood. They won an Academy Award for that, which was actually pretty good. Rob, any chance you would be interested in seeing this bio by Bela Lugosi?
Yes, I have interest in it because of who wrote the script. It's the same guys that actually did write Ed Wood. And that movie, that movie is actually very enjoyable and actually very educational. Ed Wood is one of these obscure directors that their movies were just so bad. And he's also known for having Bela Lugosi towards the latter half of his life to be in his movies and stuff. And so that movie's very interesting, and it was just really well written. It was really great. To me, it's a classic, and I recommend anyone that hasn't seen it to watch it. So I am interested because it's the same writers, so they kind of get this kind of I guess era and this particular genre of these actors. I think they get Bela Lugosi and the his competing actors that were his rivals, contemporaries in that time. So I think it's worth looking into. That is Leonardo DiCaprio. It's not like he jumps into garbage projects either. I think he really gets behind really solid stories. And I don't know if he's playing anything in this movie, but I know from what I understand is that this is Bela Lugosi, the younger years as he's becoming a known actor from Hungary, and then lands the iconic role of Dracula. So I think those behind the scenes stories are awesome, documentary wise. But I just think that the writers they have on board is going to really capture that and really just, give us a really good, solid story worth watching. I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be some awards coming out of this, whether it be screenwriting or acting. It just has a really powerhouse team behind it.
Yeah, I mean, he was a heroin addict, I believe, too, towards the end of his life, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure. Dave, are you interested in seeing a Bela Lugosi movie? Did you like the monster stuff?
I want to make a movie.
Perfect.
So, yeah, like Rob said, I don't think Brad Pitt's going to attach himself to something that could be, a big stinker. And granted, he's just a producer on this. So, as we all know, there's lots of producer in name only, or what are they actually doing? Like, but that's that part. At least his name lends some credibility to it, and just the character in and of itself, like all the iterations we've had of Dracula, and if I'm not mistaken, the original Nosferatu movie came out before with Dracula, but everybody knows like that's the look of Dracula that we all know, even in the Monster Squad, which that movie should be redone.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that's the Bela Lugosi Dracula is exactly what he is. So I think it could be really good. I would check it out only because the legacy that it's been built up over the years. And then are they going to do anything with it other than just tell the story? Like kind of what they did with. Are they going to do a little different like they did with what was it, Hollywoodland?
Oh, okay, right.
You know what I mean? So. Either way, I think it would be interesting. I mean, listen, like I said, Hollywoodland, I think was good. I actually liked the Elvis movie with Austin Butler that came out.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So if you do these things right, like if the subject you're doing the story on is interesting, and I believe he is, this could be good. And it's nice to see something that's just not like a retread of other IP. To be completely honest.
Yeah, you're right.
100%. Amen.
Yeah, a lot of the biofilms, like we got the Springsteen movie coming out soon, which seems pretty interesting, So I think this will be pretty good too. I really do. All right, guys, let us talk about the next thing. And next thing, we're going to talk some Spider-Man news. Now, every week it seems like Spider-Man is adding people to the cast. We actually just got released a picture of Bruce, of Mark Ruffalo, of Mark Ruffalo being like bloody or something on the set, which kind of makes it. People saying that he's going to be Rage Hulk is going to be back, which everyone is speculating. But now apparently there is a lot of movement saying around that we're going to get a female villain into this whole universe in the Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's what they're saying. It says rumored to be a feature of a female villain. I don't know. Now, maybe I don't know too many female villains. Black Cat is the only one I really know. I know Calypso. I heard Screwball's one. I don't know that person, that character too well, but I think it's getting so out of hand with this movie with so many characters. Rob, you're a Spider-Man guy. Maybe you can tell us. Do you know maybe anything about the character could be the villain?
So I was really actually digging into this topic today because when I saw that this was on the show doc, I started getting really nervous because I'm with you. I'm like, okay, there's so many villains you could fit on the screen for a Spider-Man movie, and Spidey has his team. So, what's going on here?
Six movies.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the interesting thing. As soon as it's 6, okay, I've been like, okay, didn't we try that already? But for what I'm understanding, that this particular female villain is a shapeshifter. That's kind of like what I'm getting buzz about. And, again, these are rumors to be taken with a grain of salt. But if that's the case, I heard this character called Shafra, which is it's a fairly newer villain, and to be honest, I really hope they don't go down that route. But unfortunately, it kind of fits like Sony. They want to they really want to have something that stands out, that they introduced their contribution to this to this universe. And if that's the case, it's just like can we just make it just a street level, like all out fight? Just like just pick up where Daredevil was born again, left off. Just start bringing in the super villains and stuff for the Battle of New York. Can we do something like that? But no, we can't have nice things. So now we're gonna go with like black magic shape shifting chicks. I'm sorry, it's not working for me.
We had Madam Web. We had Madam Web just recently, which she's a villain, but that was horrible. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dave, what do you think about this whole adding a now female villain.
It's like Marvel Studios had Bring Your Kid to Work Day, and they all suggested a villain when they came through the door.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys want to see today? Rob brings up a good point, but at the same time, it could be Black Cat, it could be Silver Sable. Would have been interesting at some point in the 20 years we've had Spider-Man movies, but again, with the amount of names and characters attached to this, like not only is it characters, but like the names attached to playing the characters, like everyone should be getting screen time with this kind of billing that's happening, but I don't see how it's working anymore. It makes me really wonder, is the script even written? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like this thing started filming months ago. Everyone was hyped. We got those pictures of Tom Holland. Now, granted, maybe there's stuff happening because he's still recovering from the concussion, but still, like I don't really know what's going on. And every announcement that's made, I have less confidence that this is going to be good.
Yeah, me too. I have to agree with you, man. I think they're going to oversaturate it with a bunch of these people that are not going to do really well, man. We'll wait and see. I think it's about 9 months away, maybe 9 months away, 10 months away.
Yeah. Tom Holland flick is never really been about him, right? Like,
and that's sad. It's really sad. It's like, the guy's one of these. He's by far. He's ingratiated himself to the Spider-Man base. The fans love him, as his portrayal of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Yet he, for some reason, I don't know what it is, that they just don't trust that he could carry this thing on his own, and that's just a travesty. I fear that we're going to go the route of Henry Cavill, where he's never going to have his true defining Spider-Man moment, and that's just sad.
With Iron Man, and like hats off to Jake Gyllenhaal and the way they did Mysterio. Like that was a super huge, interesting part of that movie, but like Spider-Man was almost secondary to all of that. And obviously we know what No Way Home was. It was very cool. It doesn't hold up the same way for me upon like repeat viewings. And it's like a lot of nostalgia bait. It's not bad, but like let this kid have his own actual flick. And that's what we thought this was going to be when he's going back to basics. He's made his own suit. Like he's in the city, street level stuff. Okay, cool. Punisher's there. And then so is everybody else who's got the number you had in the Beetlejuice. Not serving 9,000.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go back to just street level, but this is kind of getting out of hand. I guess it's a big money maker, so they're going to throw every star in there. I guess, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see, man. We're going to wait and see. Be out in like 7 months or so, 8 months, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The next thing we're going to talk about is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey, actually, this was someone I saw this during the week, and everyone was buzzing about it. Actually, so Jim Carrey is going to be making a return, apparently, as a favorite cartoon I used to watch as a kid, as George Jetson. So apparently, meet George Jetson. I also did hear that Danny DeVito was supposed to be going to be Mr. Spacely, and I also heard Fran Drescher was supposed to be that.
No kidding.
Rosie. So that's what I also did hear. Also, that those were things that were supposed to be happening. But the Jetsons, I was a big fan of the cartoon. I used to enjoy it a lot. I'll start off with Rob. You want to talk about it first? Tell me, what do you think about the Jetsons? Were you a fan of the cartoon?
I was. We're just doing this whole pop culture renaissance, with this stuff here, and it's kind of it's bringing me back to coming home after school and having all these Saturday morning cartoons, having all these cartoons available for me to watch. So it's cool. I actually think this can work. Because I think about that show, and I think about how Jim Carrey would fit as George Jetson, and the more I think about it, the more I can't help but smile. It's like this. It seems like he could actually make this thing not just good, but funny good. And now you're bringing in Danny DeVito as Mrs. Spacely, and Fran Drescher. I didn't even know she was even going to be in this thing as Rosie the Robot.
Yeah, she's possible.
If that's true, you got already some really solid comedic elements here to really pull off a surprise, to be quite honest. I'm very open to this project. At first it's like a little jarring because it's like, it's been a while since I've, heard about the Jetsons, the
Yep.
cartoon. So them doing a remake, it's like, okay, we're making everything nowadays. But because of Jim Carrey, playing George Jetson, I don't know. I really think that if the script is right and they got the right director there, all the things that the ingredients they need to make a good movie, I think this thing could really surprise and be really funny.
Okay. Dave, what did you think about this, the Jetsons? Are you a fan of the cartoon?
I'd like to see the version that Charles Barkley likes that has Leroy Jetson in it.
His boy Leroy.
That's great. That's awesome.
I used to watch the show. I liked it. I think George Jetson's actual birthday is like 2026. Like,
Is it
No
really?
kidding.
So something like that.
That's wild.
Like, I don't even think he may not even have technically been born yet.
Oh my God.
But I would watch do with Jim as long as this doesn't turn into the Flintstones. or
Yes.
Scooby-Doo,
Yes.
right? Like, we've seen those, and those were not good.
Mhm.
But like, give it the aesthetic that Fantastic Four had, right?
Mhm.
And I would watch Jim Carrey and Danny DeVito yell at each other for 90 minutes.
Mhm.
Fran Drescher, I think, is a fine choice. Who's that woman? Kathleen Lynch
Kathleen Lynch.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yes.
to play Jane Jetson, his wife.
Jane
I
is
feel like
yeah.
That'd be pretty wild. That'd be a great match.
yeah,
Mhm.
like if you the casting won't be the problem, because I think the casting for Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones was fine, and maybe just the time period that they came out. But
Mhm.
if you make the aesthetic right and you have a good story, this could be great.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys both this question. I've heard people say this. They thought Jim Carrey was a little bit too old to be George Jetson. You guys, what do you guys think? Because they said it he's like 63 or 64 or something. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Listen, we had some people think that the first 20 minutes of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was weird because of the way he looked. I didn't think he looked that weird.
Okay.
So, like, you could do it, just de-age him. And
Mhm.
you could put a weird futuristic sheen on the entire production that kind of takes that away.
Mhm.
So then you just make it a story that's like later.
Yeah.
It's hard to say
And honestly,
because the cartoon, like, how do you make a the only way you would make a cartoon look old is just like give them gray hair. Back then, the old Hanna-Barbera stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Anything.
Like we don't know how old George Jetson is on that show. Everybody just assumes like he's in his 40s or whatever and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's number one. And number two, who's to say that story takes place in that age? Can it be like a later George Jetson?
Yep.
Now he's maybe a grandfather. I don't know. Right?
Mhm.
The possibilities are endless. Just as long as you get the character right, and really pay homage to how it was written originally, that you recognize like, oh yes, that's George Jetson. It'll work. It doesn't matter how old he is.
Yeah. You guys realize that this will be Jim Carrey's first role outside of the guy from Sonic in like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that long. Yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
like that should say something too. If he's actually in talks, that they either have some kind of treatment, if not a completed script, because he said one of the reasons he did Sonic was just because it looked like something fun, but like not a terrible turd. Like
Mhm.
I would expect at this point, if Carrey's going to do anything, it's going to be halfway decent.
Yeah. One of the writers from the Jetsons, they said, is a huge fan.
Sonic movies did really well, probably better than they should have.
Yeah, they did really well. Yeah, one of the writers for the Jetsons movie apparently is a huge Jim Carrey fan, and wrote it specifically for Jim Carrey.
That's
So-
good. That's good. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign, right?
There's also you'd have to search hard, like far and wide, to find someone in our age bracket who doesn't have a soft spot for Jim Carrey somewhere.
Yeah. But I think some of the younger generation now, I don't know if they know who the Jetsons are, because that came out in the 60s, that cartoon, if you think about it, so some people really don't. So I don't know if there's going to be a big movie box office smash, but with Jim Carrey, you never know.
It would hinge on him and the rest of the cast.
Correct.
Like how big could it actually be?
Yep, 100%. All right, guys, before we start going into the fan questions and the trivia, let's take a quick moment from our sponsor. Here it comes. Anytime soon.
The code never changes. That's why Straight Outta Jersey has partnered up with the Cosa Nostra brand. Not just a name, but a code you will wear on your chest. From the streets to the mic, we carry the same message. Respect is earned. Loyalty is everything. And silence is sacred.
All right, guys, we got some questions that came in, and I got some couple of weird questions that came in. This one came in from Gozer the Guardian. Actually, wrote us a question. Believe it or not.
Nice.
You know, hold on. Here we go. And Gozer, he says,
I knew it.
Middle Earth, New Jersey. Are any of you a god? That's what Gozer wrote in to me. Gozer the Guardian said,
we should know this answer in unison.
First of all, it's yes.
Yes.
Second of all, I feel like Middle Earth. That's Tolkien, right?
Yeah.
It's Tolkien. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know where, but Middle Earth. That's what he said.
They should have put themselves as like Camp Shandor, New Jersey.
Yeah, I was starting.
There you go. Do better, Gozer.
All right. Next question here. Tim from New York says, "Hey, team. I know people tend not to like GB2. However, in '89, it did extremely well in the box office at the time. It did do well in the box office, I believe.
Yeah, because everyone was flying high on. You had Back to the Future 2, Batman, Last Crusade, and it was coming off the heels of like Ghostbusters was obviously super popular, very very well. Was only beat domestically, I think, by Beverly Hills Cop by like $5 million, but was in the top spot for like 7 weeks. Like today, even a movie that does well, it doesn't even get 7 weeks in the theater.
No.
Yeah, people got to remember that summer was like a big, heavy summer, like blockbuster after blockbuster, and these were like sequels that, back then, we didn't know when the sequel was being planned, so you saw the trailer and you're like, whoa, where did this come from? Mm-hmm. And the build-up for all those movies, and every single one of those sequels were sequels that people wanted to see. So I remember that summer, and you're right. Just about every single movie that came out just was smacking it out of the park.
Batman, Indiana Jones, Beverly Hills Cop, I think, right? I don't know. There's a bunch of them.
You're coming off the heels of the real Ghostbusters too, so it's like they were really really popular for another couple of years. And when I go back, I've rewatched these tons of times, and Ghostbusters 2 isn't as bad as I thought it was at some point between like 95 and 2015. When I saw it, it's the first Ghostbusters I saw in the theater, so it holds a certain space for me. Is it as good as the first one? No, but like that's lightning in a bottle. There's so many reasons why Ghostbusters 1 shouldn't work, yet it does. Like it still holds up, and it did. So
yeah. Today's the day, like we watch trailers, we know when they're coming, we see them on our phone. We know back when we were kids, trailers just dropped on TV and you're like, holy shit, I didn't even know they were making that. Those were the days when you just saw it and were like, wow, Ghostbusters. So those things hit differently, But yeah, it did do well. All right. Next question here we got says Eric from North Bergen, New Jersey says, DC, I was at Comic-Con and honestly, it did not seem as less people were dressed up this year than compared to most other years. Agree?
Yeah, I've only been going for a couple of years, and the first year I went, I didn't dress up at all. I just don't think I had anything, or I didn't have anything I thought that was like good enough, because there's some outrageously good stuff there, like the Galactus this year. For the most of the people on the con floor, like going around to all the vendors, there's not as many as you would think in costume. There's a lot, but not many. Most of that's like what I call the normies, the general public who just go in their street clothes. I know there's some people who do a different costume every day if they're there for like all 4 days.
Wow.
And sometimes maybe you just do a costume one day because there was a Ghostbuster guy I was supposed to meet. He's like, I may just wear my jumpsuit, not all my gear, because I need my backpack, because Thursday is like my comic book buying day. So like the reasons people dress up or don't dress up change. But what I can say is that they have like Cosplay Corner, which is, I think this year was like outside. So I walked through a section where like everybody in costume was just like the whole length of the Javits Center. So I think sometimes if you want to see really good stuff, you just have to go and find it. Because not everyone's always inside, like walking around on the floor, looking at vendors and getting autographs. So
yeah,
I just need to know where to look.
Yeah, I saw that guy who dressed up as Galactus. Saw him doing the video, and he said that suit cost I think like 28,000 or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
28,000 for that Galactus suit. He said, "Well, that's a lot of money."
I hope he does something with it.
It looks pricey.
Little pricey. All right. Next question here. Frank V from New York. He says, "Screenwriter Rob, I'm not sure if you do what I tend to do at times, is write people, places, or events from my personal life into my stories. Thanks again." Is that what you do? Rob?
Yeah. When you first get started in writing, that adage that you write what you know. So I think I think I've written, just doing a rough count, I think I've written about 20 or so stories, between shorts and feature screenplays and stuff like that. And I can honestly say there's a little part of me in every single one of those stories. It's a natural thing. Now, you don't want to like write yourself in these stories, but usually, you're writing these stories from a place of like, some kind of personal experience that you want to share or a message you want to say. And so that could translate into where it be a character or, a premise, that sort of thing. So, or just, a place that like he's suggesting, like a place that you've been to and you just got inspired, like this should be a story happening here. Mm-hmm. So, no, it's a very natural thing. I think a lot of writers actually do that. And I can honestly say that there's a little piece of me in every single one of my stories. So yeah, that's I think that's pretty normal.
Okay. Next question. Tom H. Bridgewater, New Jersey. Hello, guys. Great time to be a DC fan. Not sure if you were asked this question before. Do you prefer Zack Snyder style or Gunn style?
If I wanted to eat the end of a shotgun, I'd prefer Zack Snyder style.
It's fun because he's dropping a bunch of pictures lately.
Yeah, like listen, visually, aesthetically, Zack Snyder had a lot of things right. I think I still think we got robbed with no Batfleck solo movie. I would love to see that character do like a story as he was later on in his career. Henry Cavill always looked great as Superman. The suit was great. The writing was meh. And Wonder Woman and Aquaman, like all the aesthetics worked. Just what they tried to do with it didn't work, and the movies weren't great. I don't know if Gunn's lighthearted approach would work with that aesthetic. I really don't think it would. So I still give the entire edge to Gunn.
Okay, Rob.
Yeah, again, as a storyteller, as a screenwriter, Gunn's style is just a lot more fun. There's just more layers to it. I would say this much about Snyder. I think looking back, instead of doing the whole DCEU plan that they were trying to do, I just think that they should just gave him the whole Injustice story arc, because I think that's what he was trying to build towards. And we got a little glimpse of that towards the end of these movies. And I just think that if he did a full-on just focus on Injustice, whereas like, Superman is just like, just the bad guy basically, and the world is paying for it. I think that would have been his sweet spot, because I think that's what he was really going for. I think he could have pulled it off, to be quite honest. But overall, I just think that Gunn's style just lends more to like just more expansion of the universe and an enjoyable trip through it. The other Snyder's like it's too heavy. It's just too much.
I agree. I enjoyed Gunn style.
There's a scene in the season 1 of Peacemaker, in the first episode when Chris is telling Adebayo outside of the restaurant, like Eagly hugged me once, and she's like, I call bullshit on that. And then he's like, if you don't want to believe in miracles, that's on you. All the way in the last episode, when she doesn't look like anything's gonna happen, and she sees Eagly hugging Peacemaker in the vet's office, and they replay that bit. I'm like, oh, it's such a good scene. Like, Gunn is really good at doing that, like bringing stuff back that you think are like throwaway nothings and turning them into a big integral part of the story, or at least something that you really care about. Like one thing, if you can get me as an audience member to not only like enjoy what I'm seeing, but also actually care about it and have an emotional response, like that's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
And an emotional response in like comic book stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Warner Brothers, it's not if, but when it will be sold. You guys know that news. I hope, we stay with Gunn style, just that, I heard Netflix is in the running that they may do it. And then you see like all these pictures Zack Snyder's dropping of like a Superman pick, a new Batman pick that he didn't show, Deathstroke,
oh
so
boy.
like, what's going on here? Something's up, when then they're being sold. Is he teasing something? I don't know, but we'll see what happens, And I always said, somebody mentioned this to me before, said, why can't we just do a Henry Cavill Superman movie under the same brand, just like we do a different Batman with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
Why not?
Could.
You can do it. Right? It doesn't have to always be connected, do separate ones, that would be cool. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Because all the Snyder incels in their basement would lose their minds.
Yeah.
Yes. You said it.
All right. Let's see. We got one more question here. And this one is here from Danielle P. From Jersey writes, hey, Screenwriter Rob, what is your top 3 scary movies?
These are easy. Event Horizon. The Exorcist Part 3 really freaked me the hell out. And The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. All right. Dave, you have any ones you are your top?
Event Horizon, and Event Horizon. No, Event Horizon for sure. I remember, like, I will still watch that, and I don't know why I will, because every bit of it is disturbing. It really is. But I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm pretty sure it still holds up.
Oh, it holds up. It holds up beautifully.
I was interested to hear another podcast I listened to bring it up fairly recently, and they're like, it is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Things that impacted me when I first watched them. I remember watching Pet Sematary.
That's a good one.
On VHS for the first time, and I don't even know how far along I was with my friend Jimmy, and I was like, I'm gonna turn this off. Like I really didn't want to finish watching it because I was like, this is terrifying.
One of my favorite movies, actually, I just saw it too, like the other day. Terrorizer with Art the Clown.
Yeah. Terrifier? Yeah.
Yeah, I met that guy too at one of the shows sometime, and he was walking around dressed up as that character too.
No kidding.
Yeah. We're going back, but yeah, I love that Terrorizer, whatever, as Art the Clown. Some of the scenes, man, you're like, whoa, what the hell, man?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they hit hard.
The original ABC movie for It, the first half with the kids, is actually pretty
very creepy,
pretty scary.
Very surprising for a made-for-TV movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very. All right. Well, that is it for our questions. Now we're going to get ready to do our trivia. Now, next week we're going to have our Halloween show. So I got a couple special things lined up that we're going to be throwing in there. So let me get this all set up, ready to go. All right, here we go. So, all right, I'll start off with Rob. In the movie Speed, what was the certain mile per hour the bus could not go under or it will explode?
Isn't that 50 miles an hour?
50 miles an hour, correct. All right, Dave, what was the first sports film to win an Academy Award?
Oh my God, what was the first sports film? Was it Rocky?
Very good. Nice one.
Nice. That was good.
All right, Rob. In Inception, what object does Cobb use as his totem?
Oh, that's the little top.
I think I made these too easy for you. I don't know.
No. We've been getting blasted the last couple of weeks with true and false. Like this is stuff we've actually know these things.
Yeah. All right, Dave. What was the original title for Return of the Jedi?
Oh, Return of the Jedi. The original Star Wars was Blue Harvest. Why couldn't you do that one?
No, Blue Harvest was for Star Wars. It was the original title for Return of the Jedi.
Oh God, I don't know. I'm going to say it probably had something to do with the Ewoks.
Mm.
No.
Rob, you know this one?
I don't. I heard that there was a different title. I think I read it maybe once, but it never really stuck in my memory.
Okay, it was Revenge of the Jedi. But George Lucas changed it because Jedis do not seek revenge.
Only the
Oh,
Sith.
George. We miss George.
Yep, I have an action figure from that actually has Revenge of the Jedi on it. That they was in the last
Ooh.
batch when they switched it. Yeah, actually, it's Revenge of the Jedi. It's worth a lot of money.
That's
What's
quiche.
what's the figure?
It is a who's it? It's the Dengar from Empire Strikes Back. It was a Dengar figure. I have it encased in the frame. It's Dengar.
Have you had it appraised?
When I picked it, when I bought it, and I bought it in, I'm gonna say 94.
Okay.
It cost me like almost $900.
Oof.
So 94. So I don't know what it's worth today. I bought it at a place called
That-
Starlog.
Oh my
That's
God, I remember
nice.
that place.
You remember the place Starlog? That's
Yes.
where I bought it. Yes, Starlog. That's where I bought it.
Was it in Wayne? Was Starlog in Wayne?
Ridgewood.
Ridgewood, okay.
Yeah, I think there might have been another one in Wayne, but there was one in Ridgewood. I bought Starlog is where I bought it.
Yes,
It was
I know
$900.
Zap Comics is in Wayne. So
Yeah, but I think the last time I checked, maybe a couple years ago, I thought it was around like almost 10,000 a figure worth. So it's a good figure. I have it encased and everything.
Nice.
All right. Who goes next? Let's see. So Rob, let's see. What was the first animated feature film to ever win an Oscar? I mean, to ever be made. Sorry, ever been made. First
The
animated
first
feature
animated feature?
animated feature film.
Fantasia?
What? You're on the right
Fantasia?
track. You're wrong.
is Steamboat Willie?
Nope. Snow White.
Oh.
Snow White in the Seven Dwarfs. Those are the first ones. All right, Dave, I'm going to give you this one. What film was the first use of the famous bullet time visual effect?
It wasn't. I don't think it was The Matrix. I think The Matrix just perfected it.
It was The Matrix.
It was okay.
It felt like a trick question.
That type of
Yeah.
stop motion camera stuff had been done previously, but I think The Matrix was. They were the ones that did it in the sequence of the cameras that actually got the totality of the
Right. And I think what you're thinking about is Dark City.
Maybe.
They did some of that with their, like, it wasn't bullet time, but it was like, they said tuning or whatever, but the same effect, very similar.
yeah.
All right, Rob. What film gave Steven Spielberg his first Oscar?
Man. His first Oscar.
First Oscar.
Man, was it? I think it was later. I might be wrong, but I think it happened later. Saving Private Ryan.
That is wrong.
Oh,
Schindler's List.
Just skipped it. Ugh.
How was that even possible? It was so late in his career.
Yeah, I knew it was late. I couldn't remember what was that one or Saving Private Ryan.
This guy's been
All
making duds for the first 15 years of his career.
Yeah, right.
All right, Dave. In The Matrix, what was the name of Morpheus' ship?
The Nebuchadnezzar.
That's good.
Please
Perfect.
don't ask me to spell it.
Yeah, I could.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yep, Knezzar. Yep. It's Nebuchnezzar. Exactly.
It's okay.
All right, Rob. What film did Martin Scorsese win his first Oscar for Best Director?
Oof. I want to say it's either one of two. All right, I'm gonna go with Casino.
Casino is
Ah,
it is Departed.
The Departed.
Departed 2006, believe it or not.
Wow.
Losers.
The Academy. What the hell, man?
All right, Dave. Here's the final question here. Rob, see if maybe you want to jump in because I have a bonus one to this. How many
All right.
actors played James Bond?
Oh shit. Uh,
Bonus if you can name them.
right. Roger Moore, Sean Connery, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan.
Roger Craig. Not Roger Craig. Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. That's 5. That's the only ones I know. I don't know if there's
No, there is one more. That was with the obscure guy.
So then it's 6. I'm gonna say it's 6.
Correct answer. There's 6 members to play James Bond.
Right. Teamwork.
There's one more guy, and he is George Lazenby.
Oh.
George Lazenby played the James Bond. Was
he the first or second?
He was actually the second.
All right, so Roger Moore was first.
Connery was first, I think.
Connery was first, for sure.
Then Lazenby, and then Moore was the one I remember growing up. Roger Moore, he was in the 80s, a long time. Then Dalton, whatever, and then Craig and Bronson and Craig. All right, guys. Well, that is it for our show this week. We're going to have a Halloween special next week. So, guys, get ready. I'm going to have some things kind of put aside for you guys, a little secret surprise. I'm going to have stuff for next week's show for the Halloween special. So get your best gear on,
All right.
Locked and loaded, and we'll be ready to go for next week. All right, guys? Yeah. All right, man. I'll talk to you next week. You got it, man.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Body build the